Hi, my name is Leslie, and I am going to be doing a presentation on environmental factors of depression. And so, a little bit about myself is that I also go through depression. I actually have panic disorder, anxiety, and depression, and it was a uphill battle for most of my life. But the reason why I'm fixating on this one so much is primarily it's opinionated, but it's a lot about me having to study myself and learn more about myself because I didn't really have anybody that I could turn to. My parents never believed in therapy, and they always thought that we could always be supportive of each other, and that family was what was the core of everything. And they were very, very supportive of me as everything that I was going through. It was just that they always thought that therapy wasn't the best thing for us, and that they were always worried. So they never let me do it. They don't even let me take medications for anything. They think the medicine is not healthy or not safe, and so a lot of these things went down, and so I had to navigate through myself and journaling and other things. So as I undergo depression, I kind of learned how to navigate it and overcome it. And so that's why I decided to do this one, and also to focus on environmental factors, because if my parents, well, they may have it physically, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't see it on them. And so I wanted to say, how did I develop it? If I wasn't born this way, but how did I develop it over time? And how do other people sometimes become or grow into a depression environment? And how does that affect them moving forward? So what we're gonna look at is a few things here. What is depression? And so depression is a feeling. It deals with behaviors, and it deals with mental. And so basically when you look at this, I am depressed. Yay us. So when we look at mannerisms and we look at different disorders, we try to figure out where is the root cause of depression. And so when you look at oneself, I would say that depression deals with, if we look at the environmental side of things, that it deals with what we allow in with our thought processes, with our feelings of feeling inadequate, of feeling sad, of feeling overwhelmed by things. And it just leads to like this very sloth-like behavior of I can't accomplish things, I can't do anything. So a little quick tip of a couple of things that I would say for this is that I've learned over time is small tasks go a long way. Feeling that you can't do anything is very, very common when we have depression. I know for one thing that when I undergo an episode, I'm either crying and having a meltdown, or I just hear all these voices in my head like I'm not good enough, I suck, I'm a failure, and all of these things come from environmental factors to me, because from my experience, it's not so much my parents that have ever told me that I couldn't do something. It's always been what's it called, like people around me. It's always been my circle, it's always been my groups, it's always been those that I grew up with, because they were going through their own stuff, and it always leaked onto me. And I always like assumed those behaviors of like my friend was going through her parents' divorce, and like she was navigating that life, and I was like, I developed that kind of those mannerisms from her. I had another friend where she was going through a breakup with her boyfriend, and her parents were having an affair with each other, and like all those emotions, and that was my surrounding. And so that was my environment that I was always in. It was never my home life. It was always those that I continued to surround myself with, the people that never wanted me around. And I would always go for a popular crowd, but I wouldn't fit in with them. And those things would always create this negative environment where it would be like bullying into depression. And so luckily I never took my life, but I never got involved with cyberbullying. Those are things that we do really need to watch out for, especially with kids today. Another thing that we can get into is what are environmental factors. And so I kind of touched base on this a little bit already. But a few of the environmental factors would be like our family. And so sometimes when kids are at home, it's their parents. I work with students, and so seeing students come over to school and they're just shutting down because their dad passed away. They're shutting down because their mom isn't listening to them. They're shutting down because their siblings took something of theirs and they just don't know how to cope with those things. There's words of other people, the impact that we can make on each other. My biggest thing is that you got to speak life over one another. Talking negatively to each other, it's going to hurt people more than it's going to help them. our circle matters. Like what I said earlier, having those people around you that are moving towards the same goals and aspirations as you, or who are going towards something in life, helps. It helps you become a better person, helps you to grow, it helps to change the environment around you. Now, it doesn't work for everybody, but this is what worked for me. Beyond genetic precursors, I would say would be things like colors, sounds, choices, and lifestyles. And so the reasoning why I put those things is because colors like gray, black, monotonic colors, those things can make people feel negative. Those things can be like dark undertones, can also make people feel depressed, can also make people feel bad. And so being mindful of those things that you're surrounding yourself with, be more vibrant in your choices of colors. A few other things, I'm checking the time. A few other things being like your lifestyle choices. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you moving around so much? When you become a sloth and staying at home all the time, it can really affect how we feel on the inside, and it can make us feel gross, it can make us feel exhausted, it can make us feel uncomfortable, and we don't feel good. And with that meaning that we tend to hurt ourselves more. And so another thing would be the choices that we make. And so like music choices, that could be your friend choices, that could be your eating habits, that could be any kind of choices you make. Be mindful of your choices that you're making, because you don't want to hurt yourself. You want to make sure that you're making good choices in life that are going to feed you confidence and going to feed you positivity, and that aren't going to hurt you and not going to make you feel bad. And so there are ways that you can get help with this. And this is something that I just kind of wanted to throw in here for everybody who's like looking. And so a few things that we have are therapy. I know my family grew up not believing in therapy. I went into psychology. Therapy helps. You get a doctor for your body, get a doctor for your brain. There is a hotline that we can call too. And not only to mention that, but Fresno State also has a number that we can call if we ever felt like we were going through some kind of mental struggle that they can help us with. And so with that, I conclude today my whole presentation. I know it was a little bit rushed at the end, but trying to make that time. Never feel like you can't do something. Honestly, depression is not just, it's all a mental battle. It's all within our head. It's all within us. We have the ability to overcome it. It is not something that can overtake us, and it is not something that can really tear us down unless we keep fighting. I had an episode the past 2 weeks, actually, I was going through it. We have the ability to overcome our anxiety. We just have to keep pushing ourselves. We have the ability to overcome our depression. We just have to keep pushing ourselves. And so that's all I wanted to teach you guys today, is that depression is something that we do develop and we do go through, but mind, body, spirit. Go through it, get past it. You can do it. Thank you.